What caused you to leave the trading floor?
One of the things that my father told me growing up is the only thing in life you have is your name. So I had actually invested in a company, and I'd introduced this person to several people, and I ended up having to take over that company because that person had screwed some things up. So I left what I really liked, and I had to go clean up a lot of stuff. And then I turned that company into a company that wrote financial modeling systems. So I wrote most of the financial modeling systems for Sears and Abbott Labs and Mellon Bank and Farmers and a lot of other kind of large companies. That's just kind of what I did. I took that over, and then I applied kind of my ability to do what I call algorithmic opportunity identification and apply it to industry.
What do you miss about the floor?
What I liked about the environment is you had to be around people, but it was not listen, nobody cared about your feelings. I didn't have to explain my feelings. I didn't have to listen about anybody's feelings. You just didn't get to talk about your feelings because nobody cared. Did we make money or did we not make money? Do we have out trades because of something stupid you did or don't we? Did we get through the day and do what we were supposed to do? If we did, you're wonderful. If you're not, you're an a-hole. And people would just tell you that. I like that. So I would say I've never had an environment that I've been able to be in that is like that, which I miss. If I could go back, I regret leaving trading because it's just numbers.
What should new people know that never got to trade on the floor?
There are some basic principles that really never change. Whether the trade is, listen, most people weren't on the floor, right? They were calling in orders, right? And when they were calling in orders, automatically you're going to be losing. Day traders have had very low success rates in the 80s, and they have almost the exact same success rates today. They're just people with a lot more sophistication than you have. So most people are going to lose. And that is just like, I would say, you're like a deer and there's a bunch of wolves there. Those wolves are just waiting for you. That hasn't changed, right? They're just a lot more sophisticated than you are, and they know exactly how to take advantage of you. And what most people, so I say the principles haven't changed at all. And they teach you in the beginning, you have to manage two things, right? Fear and greed. When things are going your way, you think they're going up forever. When they're going against you, you're panicked because you think, there's no bottom. But if you look at markets over time, there's never been anything that's been straight up or straight down. It's all a wiggly line. It's all kind of recognized patterns. That's another thing for me when I would say that I learned from business, which really helped me. The time I think to be scared is when things are going your way. The time to be calm is when they're going against you. So kind of in our business, when people were, hey, things are going our way, we're getting a lot of business, things look good, and hey, we need to hire a bunch more people. And I said, no, chill out. We're not doing that. But I looked at the productive people and I could kind of tell they're about at the end of their energy level. So you watch them up until, they're about to go over the cliff. And then we would let them work from Mexico for a week or something like that. But when the sky was falling, that is a time where you have to reassure people, it's time to be calm. So we've been through a lot of ups and downs. So the other thing is we've been like super prudent, not being flashy. I would say I saw a lot of people at the Merc who they had gotten, they were floor traders, and then they would come to work in limousines. You're coming to work in a limousine. Okay, that means you've had a bump, you've made some money, and now everybody's got to see that. Those are people that are just, they're not long for this world. So I would say I just learned, it was the best learning experience of my entire life, I would say.
What characteristics did you need to survive the floor?
Think about how much trust you have to have in people. There's nothing that stops me from going into a pit and buying 1,000 puts that aren't covered. Or selling 1,000 puts, which is worse. there's nothing that would prevent me from selling 1,000 naked puts. Now, if the world goes your way, right, they're not going to find that out mostly until the morning, right, when these things start to clear. So that is a place where, man, if you had a bad name, I mean, they could kick you out, right? The exchange can kick you out. Your clearing firm can kick you out. A lot of bad things can happen to you if you're a person not of good character, or you're not a trustworthy person. Because that whole place was based on, if you say you're buying 5,000, you confirm it's 5,000, you're on the hook for that. And, you know, if you die tomorrow and you place that trade and you lost $5 million, that clearing firm is responsible for that. So you just had to be, right, it's a lot of trust. And I don't think most people have ever been in a position where they had to be trusted that much, where the consequences of them making mistakes could be catastrophic. I think it, and I'm kind of sad in one way that those exchanges don't exist anymore, because people don't have the ability to see any of that. It's all behind screens now.